Hey everyone, welcome. Sarah Sampson here, beauty influencer with Pharmacy USA and leader of Team Glitz Mavens. I'm so excited to be with you guys today. We're going to talk really fast. We're going to talk very quickly. This is not going to be a long live. We are going to talk quickly about personal development. Now, we've talked about this time and again, so I'm not going to really get into like why to do it, how to do it, anything like that. I really just kind of wanted to touch on what I'm reading right now and what I'm going to be reading starting in the next few days. I technically started it, but only through the introduction, so I don't think it counts. But what I'm going to be reading and why, and my challenge for you for 2021. The thing with personal development is it needs to be something that we are doing constantly, every day. It's kind of something we work on all day. We have a training back on the page from a few months ago that kind of covers all the different things we do for personal development. It's not just about reading a book or listening to a podcast. There's more to it than that. But I just wanted to touch on the reading aspect. And my challenge for myself this coming year is actually to read one new book a month. So whether it's, start with Why, The Art of Significance, Get Out of Your Own Dane Way. There's a few others. There's lots of books to read, and lots of podcasts to listen to. But I want to be reading constantly, so I want to start a new book every single month. So that's going to be my challenge for you in 2021 is to always have a new book that you are working through, that you are reading, that's going to help you improve in those areas that you want to improve and grow in those areas. And it doesn't have to be about your business. It can just be something personally you want to grow in, whether it's self-confidence, whether you want to learn how to be a good leader, whether you want to learn how to sell better, if you want to learn YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, there's books about everything. Okay? So the books that I'm reading right now, the book that I'm specifically reading right now is actually The Art of Significance by Dan Clark. And this book is not saying, oh, don't be successful, being successful is the devil. It's not that at all. It's about focusing less on the success and less on the money and less on those outward rewards and more about leaving a legacy, being significant in the world, serving others, and doing more. And what happens when you serve others, what happens when you become significant, what happens when you get a name for being generous and kind and truthful and for your hard work and all of these other really amazing qualities is success follows. So this is the idea of leading with significance and allowing the success to follow with you. And it's just a really good book. I'm on law 4 right now, so I'm only this far in. And it's funny because we just covered in the last chapter being balanced, and I thought I was super balanced. But look, you learn something new every day. I was like, oh, I'm super balanced. I got this going. I got that going. I juggle it really well. Juggling things really well is not the same as being a very well balanced person. So things felt off kilter, but I couldn't figure out why because I was, so balanced. And it turns out these little areas here, on these 4 areas specifically, I'm really off kilter. And then I'm doing really well in these other areas. And that's very common. That happens a lot. And a lot of times what's going to happen is I'll get stronger in those areas where I'm weak. And I might back off on those ones where I'm stronger. And it's going to take a while to really get into a groove and really find balance versus juggling the things. Okay. But this is a really good book. Highly recommend it. Dan Clark is fantastic. I'm not going to lie. I found this at the Dollar Tree. You might want to check there first. Because, if it's there, it's $1. I find a lot of gems at the dollar store. I know that sounds so stupid to some people. I don't know who, but I've said it before out loud and I've been like, man, that sounds so like cheap. But the reality is there are a lot of good books that go through Dollar Tree and Dollar General, and they carry a lot of good helpful books that cover a myriad of areas. So, I mean, if you're looking to save some money, but you still want to read a good book, definitely check out Dollar Tree because I've got this book. I picked up Easy Breezy Success. There's a couple other books I found there, and they're really popular books. Like you can go Google them, and they're actually bestsellers. But somehow they ended up there. maybe they didn't make the chopping block. I don't know. But the other book that I'm going to start reading, and I did get through the introduction, but I haven't officially started, is Start With Why by Simon Sinek. This was a gift from Christina. And the reason I want to recommend you read this book specifically is Christina recommends reading this book. And as someone who has already found that level of success, as someone who leads versus being a leader, and that is what this book is really about, is being a lead, someone who leads versus being a leader. I find it incredibly, what's the word I'm going for? To me, like, it just makes sense. She's already doing what's in this book and wants us to learn and grow and be someone who leads as well versus being a leader. And the book kind of explains in the introduction area what the difference is. But Simon Sinek is like an incredibly amazing author. I've read a couple other of his books before, and I need to go back and reread them clearly. But this is an incredible read. I can't wait to go through it and mark it up with pencil. Don't be afraid if you're not borrowing a book. Don't be afraid to write in your books. Like, take notes, because then it's a lot easier for you to learn. Because I find, at least personally, anything I write down, I remember. So anything I underline or write or text or whatever, I tend to remember. That's why sometimes when I'm reading a book, you might see me post a excerpt from it, not because someone else really needs to know it any more than I do, but because that's my way of reminding myself, hey, and it'll show up in my memories next year. So, this book, it's, let me read the description. Simon Sinek is leading a movement to build a world in which the vast majority of us are inspired by the work we do. Millions have already seen his TED video about the importance of knowing why we do what we do. Start With Why takes this concept even deeper. Any person or organization can explain what they do. Someone can explain how they are different or better, but very few can clearly articulate why. Why is not about money or profit. Those are results. Why is the thing that inspires us and inspires those around us. From Martin Luther King Jr. to Steve Jobs to the Wright brothers, Start With Why shows that leaders who inspire us all think, act, and communicate in the same exact way. And it's the complete opposite of what everyone else does. Drawing a wide range of real-life stories, it provides a framework upon which organizations can be built, movements can be led, and people can be inspired. And it all starts with why. So I really love this book, especially as like a starting point. A lot of us haven't been doing personal development regularly. I fail constantly. I do a lot of like the business side development, and then I forget, like, I have a personal life and I have skills in that area that I need to improve in as well. So this is a really great book when you're first starting out to read, just to get your bearings. Like, what is your why? It's going to help you answer that question. It's going to help you learn how to use that why to your advantage and grow your business through your why. So these are two books. Highly recommend them. The Art of Significance by Dan Clark and Start With Why by Simon Sinek. And neither of them are super expensive. They're both incredible books, and they're a really good starting point. And then we go from there. And again, you can read about anything, but I do recommend finding a book a month and reading through it. And that's on top of any podcasts or anything else you're doing. Obviously, we spend a lot of time in network marketing training. We spend a lot of time learning how to do more makeup or skincare or how to lead. We spend a lot of time learning how to grow our confidence. So why not be reading books on those areas, and why not be spending time reading the things that really matter most versus, I don't know, Cosmo magazine. I used to read Cosmo like it was candy. Now I read it and I'm like, man, I am too old for this. Like, that thing's written really for girls in their 20s. I'm serious. But anyway, that's what I want to talk to you about. I want to encourage you to read these two books specifically. And then in 2020, if this is something you're interested in, I am challenging myself personally to read a new book every month. And I would love for you to join me. You don't have to, but I definitely encourage it. It's a really good habit to get yourself into, to be constantly learning and constantly growing your skills and just developing yourself each and every single day to be a better version of yourself, because you all are incredible to begin with. All personal development does is grow those areas in which you're incredible. and helps grow those areas in which you need maybe a little bit more support. Like for me, when I first started out, there's no way I could have grown a team at all. I didn't have the skills to even lead a team. Like, I was just floating in the breeze. And then I chose to start reading books about leadership, you know, being significant versus successful. The Carpenter, that's another one. Servant leadership. Um, there's others. I have a whole list of books in the personal development unit of this group. Take advantage of that. There's so many good resources in there, and I need to start, and I'm going to start putting the other books that I've read and I'm reading in there, so you have a good, nice list to go by that you can find a book real easily that interests you. You may not read every book on that list, but you might find one that really resonates with you, and that's what we're looking for: books that resonate with you, things that are covering the topic in which you're most interested or need the most growth in, and just growing and learning and becoming more efficient and more what's the word? It's late. Um, See, this is what happens. But you're just gonna grow in those areas and just become more efficient in those areas and more proficient in those areas. Okay, that's the word I was going for. Proficient. That's what I get for trying to use a big word. But anyways, that's what I wanted to share with you. I hope you guys are having a fantastic week. We are almost to Friday. You have done a fantastic job so far this week. I'm so proud of every single one of you for all of the steps you've taken towards either, improving upon yourself, developing yourself, or growing your business. You have done a fantastic job. I'm so, so proud of you. And I hope you know that I see your efforts and I recognize that you're working incredibly hard. And I do appreciate that. And I appreciate you and love each and every single one of you. So, again, thank you for joining. Sarah Sampson, beauty influencer with Pharmacy USA and leader of Team Glitz Mavens. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.